The detention center on Proxima Station reeked of ozone and fear. Jixon stood with his hands bound behind his back, his worn backpack sitting on the metallic inspection table before him. 3 Vaxian guards loomed over him, their chitinous exoskeletons gleaming under the harsh fluorescent lights. Another human pest, the tallest guard, Jakar, clicked in their guttural language. His translator device rendered the words into cold mechanical English. Look at this one, scrawny, weak, no claws, no natural armor. How did your species ever leave your dirt ball? The other guards chittered, their equivalent of laughter. One of them, a female named Silva, reached for Jixon's backpack with her 4-fingered claw. Let us see what pathetic belongings this creature carries. Jixon said nothing. His jaw tightened, but he kept his eyes forward, focusing on a point just above Jakar's angular head. He had learned long ago that silence often spoke louder than words. Silva upended the backpack with deliberate carelessness. Contents spilled across the table. A water canteen, a battered datapad, protein bars, a photograph in a weathered frame, and something folded in precise military creases. What is this? Jakar picked up the photograph between 2 claws. It showed a younger Jixon standing beside a woman with bright eyes and auburn hair. Your mate? She looks as weak as you. Careful, Jixon said quietly, the first words he had spoken since his arrest. The guards chittered again. Oh, the human speaks, Silva mocked. What will you do, Softskin? Bleed on us? Jakar tossed the photograph aside dismissively. It clattered against the table's edge. Humans, you strut around the galaxy as if you own it, but you are nothing. Your bodies break easily. You have no natural weapons. You require constant sustenance and rest. Weak, pathetic, inferior. The third guard, younger and quieter until now, reached for the folded fabric. What is this cloth? Don't, Jixon began, but it was too late. The young guard unfolded it carelessly, shaking it out. It was a uniform. Deep navy blue, though faded from time and wear. Across the left breast was an insignia, a silver star surrounded by 12 smaller stars, above crossed swords and an olive branch. Below it, ribbons of service. Many ribbons. The young guard's mandibles froze mid-movement. Silva's chittering stopped abruptly. She leaned forward, her compound eyes widening as they focused on the insignia. That is... Jakar snatched the uniform from his subordinate's claws. His translator remained silent for a long moment as he examined the markings. The combat ribbons, the campaign medals stitched into the fabric, the rank insignia on the collar, 3 chevrons and a star. Sergeant Major, Jakar whispered, his voice losing all its mocking tone. His eyes found the specific ribbon that made his claws tremble, deep crimson with a thin gold stripe. Terra Defense, Siege of Arcturus. Give it back, Jixon said, his voice still quiet but carrying an edge now. An edge sharp enough to cut through the bulkhead. The young guard had stepped backward, his entire posture changed. The siege of Arcturus was 40 cycles ago. The Kryn Empire sent 3 full war fleets. The human colony was supposed to fall in days. They held for 8 months, Silva said, her voice hollow. Every species in the galactic community knew the story. It was required learning in military academies across 100 worlds. 17,000 humans against 300,000 Kryn. Jakar's claws trembled as he looked at the other ribbons. Battle of Kepler Station. The Omega Nebula Campaign. The Titan's Gate Last Stand. This wasn't just a uniform. This was a historical document written in service and blood. The historians say... The young guard's voice was barely audible. They say the humans at Arcturus didn't just fight. They fought with such ferocity, such calculated brutality, that the Kryn commanders developed psychological disorders. They say when the relief fleet finally arrived, the Kryn were afraid to advance, even though they still outnumbered the humans 20-1. Jixon reached forward slowly, taking the uniform from Jakar's unresisting claws. He folded it with practiced precision, each crease exact, each fold a ritual of respect. Her name was Anna, he said softly, touching the photograph. Lieutenant Anna Chen, Tactical Operations. She held the northern bunker for 6 weeks after her entire unit was killed. He placed the folded uniform back in his backpack, then picked up the photograph with a gentleness that contrasted sharply with how the guard had handled it. She bought us time to evacuate the civilians. 3,000 children got off that rock because she refused to break. You... Jakar's translator struggled with the emotion in his voice. You were there. I was her sergeant. Jixon's eyes met the guards for the first time, and Jakar saw something there that made him understand. These soft-skinned creatures with their weak bodies and lack of natural weapons, they didn't need them. They had something far more dangerous, the absolute refusal to surrender when something mattered. She died holding that bunker. I carry her uniform because someone should remember. The silence in the detention room was absolute. Silva's claws moved to the control panel. The magnetic binders around Jixon's wrists clicked open and fell away. There has been a mistake in your detention, she said formally. You are free to go. Jixon shouldered his backpack. As he walked toward the exit, Jakar spoke again, his voice stripped of all mockery. Sergeant Major, why do you travel alone? A warrior of your standing. Because the war is over, Jixon said without turning back, and someone needs to remember it. He walked out into the corridor, leaving 3 Vaction guards standing in silence, staring at the empty space where a human had reminded them why humanity had earned its place among the stars. Not through strength of body, but through strength of will that even death could not diminish. The young guard looked at his superiors. We mocked him. Yes, Jakar said quietly, a deep shame in his voice. We did. Outside, Jixon paused at a viewport, looking out at the stars. His hand touched the backpack where Anna's uniform rested. Still carrying you forward, he whispered. Still remembering. And somewhere in the vast darkness of space, among the countless stars that humanity had touched, her memory burned as bright as ever. End.